Ahoy mateys! Today I will be doing my book talk on Daughter of a Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. And yeah, so I get to wear my necklace that I got last month. And this is the book that I got last month. I read this book in one day. And that's even with being gone for about an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. So, pretty big deal for me. But hey guys, so if you don't know anything about Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller, it is a book following the pirate princess Alosa, who allowed herself to be kidnapped onto a ship called the Nightfarer, which I actually have a picture of right here. She's kidnapped onto this ship in order to find 1/3 of a treasure map that the 3 pirate lords ripped up years before, and each piece has been passed down. And Alosa's father has decided that he wants all the pieces so he can find this treasure. So she was sent to the Nightfarer to try to find it. But they think that they're holding her unwillingly, and they're looking for ransom pay from her father. So while she's there, she's combing the ship. I realize this is actually backwards. She's combing the ship, trying to find the map, and she looks everywhere. But while she does so, she's also being interrogated by the first mate named Raiden, and the captain of the ship is Draxen. She learns quite a bit about them. For one, they're brothers. 2, Raiden is a very good balanced first mate for Draxen. Raiden is very level-headed. He knows, what's pushing the boundaries a little bit for Captain, because Alosa threatens the crew when they're about to kidnap her. She says, "You'll either accept my terms or I will keep killing your crew members," because he kept killing hers in retaliation, as a way to try to get her to go onto the ship a little more willingly. So they're pretty much at a stalemate, and Raiden goes, "Okay, no." And he whispers to Draxen something, which basically he says, it'll look really bad to your crew if you're allowing her to kill them. And he accepted the demands, and she went over. But anyway, so there's Raiden, who's level-headed, and then there's Draxen, who is obviously a little more bloodthirsty than necessary, meaning he was more willing to have his crew members die to prove a point than to try to get Alosa onto the ship. Because her terms weren't even really all that big. It was, let my crew go, bring all my stuff over. That was it. Which is pretty interesting that somebody who was raised as a pirate and who is a pirate princess is a little bit more not a little bit more princess than pirates. By that I mean she likes her clothes and her books, although her books do have secrets hidden within them. So it's not, a mystery to find out why she wants her books. And I guess she just wants her clothes so she's not wearing the same thing and not smelling all the time. But she finds out stuff about the ship, and she finds out stuff about Raiden and Draxen's father, Jakos, who was the not previous pirate lord, but he was a pirate lord, who owned the map, and he was the previous captain of the Nightfarer. You kind of find out how his 2 sons were able to get the ship, and how their father died. I forgot his name even though I just said it. Good job. She's able to go on land. So she's basically trying to find this treasure map, and she's kind of becoming more acquainted with the first mate in a way. She uses him, but he's, also a pretty genuine person. But anyway, so what I really enjoyed about this book is the characters. I really do like Alosa, and I know some people will probably argue that she's too perfect of a character because there's very little that she can't really do. which is not the case. She does have her limits, and a lot of the things that she can do is because she was trained to do so. It's kind of similar to Celaena Sardothien from Throne of Glass, who is this really skilled assassin because all of the things that her master put her through in order to be such a good assassin, you know, it was all of her training. So kind of like how Elosa is, she's got great upper body strength, she's an excellent fighter, she's an excellent, she's a sharpshooter, she's great with all of her skills. And the reason for it is because her father trained her to be good in that way. He's probably also trained her how to, like, hold up an interrogation, but he's also taught her, like, her limits, and there's been, like, weight training and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So while it does seem like she is kind of perfect, she has had training, a lot of training, and it's also, she does make mistakes. She does, push herself. There's one point where she's hanging by chains on the deck of the ship, or, like, from the mast. You know, so she has her limits, she makes her mistakes. She's not a perfect character. She's definitely got some flaws. So that's why I like her, is she's pretty badass, but she's not perfect. I like Raiden's character. I think he's a good balance for both Draxen and Elosa, which I've already stated. There's a couple other pirates, and this book is not similar. It has a very Pirates of the Caribbean feel to it, and there are different characters that, in my mind, kind of fit other characters in a way. Like, one of them kind of reminds me of Gibbs. He's a well-seasoned traveler, he's been everywhere, he likes to have a flask of rum with him at all times. Then there's this really kind of dim-witted, but not necessarily dim-witted, chatty fellow who believes in bad luck, and that's similar to one of the other characters in the movie, whose name escapes me, but I know it. I feel like Elosa is kind of similar to Jack Sparrow, except Jack Sparrow, all of his stunts are based on luck and not necessarily a plan. But she's pretty cool. She has a whole crew of mainly female pirates, which is very rare, and it makes her a very unique captain, as well as they're a very unique crew. And each crew member has their own, like, specific strengths. There are a couple negative pirates besides Draxen, who's kind of a terrible person, but there's a few that aren't the best, so beware of that. There is also a third pirate family that does kind of come into the mix. The only thing that I don't think I enjoyed that much about the book is how little of the world we saw, because we were inside the ship with Elosa pretty much the whole time. So we didn't get to see a whole lot of the world that they live in. But this is also a series that has started. So hopefully we will also get more of the world, maybe even a map. I love maps in books. I have so many books that have maps in them. It's probably 1/3 of both my shelves. And I don't mean like each shelf is a third. I mean both my shelves contain 1/3 of my books that have maps in them. It may even be more than that, but anyway. So I'm hoping to see more of the world, because the story itself was pretty interesting. I did really enjoy it. It's got a whole bunch of different stuff. It's got a badass female pirate captain, it's got ships, and there's sirens, and, you know, the only other thing missing from it was a treasure hunt. And I'm not talking about a hunt for the treasure map, I'm talking about like a legit treasure, which I know will be in this series because that's what the map is leading to, is treasure. So hopefully we'll see more of that. Let's see. I like the dynamic between a lot of the people on the ship. I like the dynamic between Raiden and Elosa, because they're they go back and forth between pretty much hating each other to kind of getting along. And genuinely they start to care about each other. So there's that. This video is probably going to be shorter than my last one, just because I can't think of anything else to say. I did give this book a 4 out of 5 stars for me in my reviews on Goodreads and on Tumblr, because it was, as much as I liked it and enjoyed it, and I did read it in one day, which is not something I would do with a book that I wasn't enjoying very much. It still wasn't my all-time favorite, and it definitely kind of fell a little lower because I read it after Caraval, and I do have a book talk for Caraval that I just recorded. So there's that. Caraval just kind of made it not as good, but it's still a really great series, really great book, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. If you guys have read it, what did you think? If not, what do you think about the prospect of a badass female pirate? Because I liked it. But I will see you guys later this week on Friday with my Friday book talk. Possibly it may also end up being on Saturday, because I did just remember that I do have plans on Friday, so I may not be able to record anything until Saturday. But that is all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys later. I love you all so very much. Thank you so much for watching. It always means so much to me, and happy reading.